Hi, welcome to Hope in the Light of Suicide. I'm Tammy White. I'm your host and the founder and CEO of the Bobby White Foundation. Um, I feel like I'm a little discombobulated today, but that's all right. Go with me. um, oh goodness, it's been quite a week. We've been off for a couple of weeks, but oh my gosh, there's just been so much going on. Um, yeah, it's just been crazy. So, but anyways, let's start off with I certainly need to thank my sponsors and my show producer, Area 52 Media Group, and John Gaston for allowing us to bring all this information to you, and sometimes with my craziness, which that's a today thing. Um, but I want to thank them. And if you're going to be in the Ocala area, Ocala, Florida, on I think June 8th, Area 52 Media Group, we're going to be at the Great Florida Bigfoot Conference. Uh, John does a lot of these throughout the southeast, and it's really kind of cool. So I think I'm even gonna take some time and drive up to Ocala on the 8th and support my producer. We were in Orlando for the home show a few weeks ago, and that was really a lot of fun. So I think this will be something different and fun. So, if like I said, if you're going to be in Ocala, stop by. I think it would be kind of cool, interesting. And also, DeLynn Gaston from the mortgage firm. If you're looking for a mortgage, refinancing, anything to do with mortgages, please. She's the gal. She can help you with anything. Particularly, if first time home buyers, if you don't really know, how what to do, what things need to be done, she can certainly help you. She's really super great at coaching people and sorry, um, getting you ready because maybe you may not be like totally ready, but she can help you get to that point so that when you're ready to buy your home, everything is all lined up, and it makes the process so much easier. And she, sh she's just great. That's all I can say. She's just great. So, um, and with Area 52 Media Group also, and like DeLynn, you can sponsor our show. We are looking for sponsors. Please help. Support us, support the show, so that so that we can, yeah, like and share our he's talking in my ear. He's like and share our show. I know it's a difficult subject and it's not, for everybody, but it is for everybody because you just I don't I'm going to tell you a story in just a little bit when I get to this one section about what happened, but it is for everybody. So, yeah, do that. So we also have another sponsor opportunity. We have Art for Hope coming up in September. September is National Suicide Prevention Month, and we have our fundraiser is during National Suicide Prevention Week. National Suicide Prevention Day is actually September 10th, but our event is September 12th at the Hilton Garden Inn. So, and of course, Area 52 is one of our major sponsors, but we need a lot more sponsors. It's going to be a super great event. We have a lot of artwork for sale. We have some really great speakers. It's it has always been an uplifting event. Oh yeah, no, show that piece of art again. So the eh, during even from now until then, I'm showing some artwork. This is some artwork that it will be available. The top is called um, Harry's Lodge Party, and the bottom one is Miriam's Tea Party. And these are just great fun canvases, gallery wrap. They don't have to be framed. Fun pieces of art. It's part of a whole series, and I I love those pieces. Actually, I have Miriam's Tea Party for myself as part of the edition. I just, well, I like cats. So anyway, so be sure to check that out. We do have a Facebook page for Art for Hope. So you can check out, as things are happening, we'll be bringing our sponsors on. And that's one of the great things. If you sponsor Art for Hope, you get to be mentioned on the show also. So sponsor Art for Hope. So anyway, so some of the things that have been going on, and I'm trying to figure out what I was doing when and where, and I think, and I really don't remember. But anyways, one of the things that happened recently, and we had a guest on our show, Melvin. I can't pronounce his last name. I still can't, probably never will be able to. So he just goes by Melvin from Stairway for Heroes. He had his inaugural golf tournament last week. There's me and Melvin. He's such a sweetheart. And his wife, Elga, is really cool too. It was such a great turnout. It was sold out. There were 130 golfers. We did get a storm come through, but, we live in Florida. So storm came through. Everybody got wet. Well, the golfers did. We didn't. For like, I don't know, an hour and a half, but everything went off great. It was so cool. And it was really kind of funny because I went out there to support Melvin, and not realizing, which I kind of knew, but then I didn't know. I'm playing with my screens if I look kind of weird here. Melvin's wife, Elia, works for GeoPoint Surveying, and Bobby was a land surveyor for over 40 years, and so the connection a little bit with the survey community. But one of the kids that Bobby taught surveying, mentored, when he was like 18 years old, Philip, works for GeoPoint. But for some reason, I just really didn't think about it, too much. So I went out to the event, and I'm standing there, talking to people, and here comes Philip, and he's always just so sweet to me, and he's golfing. So pretty much all the GeoPoint was there, and there's me and Philip, I don't know, right and left, anyways, and Russell. Russell is also was one of the kids that Bobby taught how to survey. And these two kids, they were 18 years old when they started, and Bobby mentored a lot of guys over the years, but it stuck with these two, and they're just the sweetest guys. So anyway, so they were there at the golf tournament, so that was just so much fun. But when I was there, and it was actually before I ran into Philip, and I met a guy that worked for GeoPoint. He's wearing his GeoPoint shirt, and we were talking. So he asked about my nonprofit, so I started talking to him about it, and it ended up being such a heartwarming talk or introduction. I think his name is Derek. Sweet guy, big guy, and and this is, it's kind of hard, but some with what we do here for the foundation, and because of our life experience, this is what we run into once in a while. Derek shared with me that he lost his cousin. His cousin was 16 years old to suicide, and this guy was he was so sweet. And so we talked a little bit, and it brought tears to his eyes. I mean, he started crying, and so I gave him, I said, "Look," I said, "we need a hug," and so I gave him a big hug. He hugged me back just as hard. um, so you just never know, and he was appreciative, though he was sad. It triggered him. It brought back, some memories that, you know, we put away a lot. Um, but, you know, we're not in this alone. That's one thing that I try and emphasize with some people because, you know, um, I know what happens in our community. Um, and in Pasco County, I'm just saying averaging since the first of the year, sometimes it's more, but it hasn't ever been less. We average 4 suicides a month. So that's a suicide every week. It hasn't been less than that. Some months it's been more than that. But we don't touch those people. And a lot of those people, I'm saying, because people still don't want to talk about it. They don't want to share. We did, thankfully. Um, it was good. We had our first support group last week. It was light in attendance. We had there were 4 people there, but that was good. At least I wasn't there by myself. um, and the response that we're getting within the community is much bigger than per se the attendance was, but it's it was good, and the people that were there, um, they appreciated it. They were happy to share, and to know that they're not in it alone. So that was cool. So I think our next meeting is June. I'm thinking June 13th. Yeah, yeah, that's it right there. June 13th at we have a room at the Golfview Square Mall. I want to thank Vanessa Phillips with What's Up Pasco for donating the space. Our first meeting, I picked up some chocolates from Chocolates by Michelle, which is really popular around here. Still have a couple of those that I brought home. So if you're in Pasco, West Pasco, Hernando, we're working on getting some space and some time together for Hernando County, and I'm gonna reach out again to the people that we're gonna facilitate a group in East Pasco, because our county is just ginormous, and we really need some help and representation over on the east side of the community. So anyways, so that's part of that. And then, like I said, I just feel a little discombobulated today, but I've been doing so much stuff at home. We haven't had like rain in our area of Florida in so long, so I've had to. And this is one thing. I mean, I talk to Bobby all the time, and I've been open about it. Throughout this whole time that we've had this show, sometimes I'm not so nice, but I've been fairly nice talking to him, even though I have not been very happy because with not having any rain, our lake has really receded a lot. And we have this irrigation that we put in many years ago, and I ended up it never got completely finished, but it was workable in certain zones. And I don't know, probably a year or 2 after he died, I finished one zone, which is right around our house. It's like the very front yard, which I have a big circle driveway and excuse me, right around the house. And it was a lot of work, and I did it, and it turned out great. But I've had to extend 70 feet of pipe out into our lake, and this is all muck. This picture, it's like 1x6s that I had to put out in the lake, where that's usually all water, like probably 5 or 6 feet deep, to get to the pipe, to attach the pipe to the other pipe. And luckily it worked. My idea worked, because otherwise I would have been sinking in muck. So I got that all done, and it took a while to get it. And of course I had to replace the sprinkler head because I ran over it with a lawnmower, which that's usually what Bobby would do. But all the time I'm like, you're supposed to be here doing this. This is not my job. Now all these jobs are my job, so you got double the work when you have an acre and a half land and a house and yard. And I usually like doing it. It's to me it makes me feel better. It makes me feel closer to Bobby, because that's the outside stuff was his stuff. But doing all this is like, it's getting a little crazy. And then so I finally yesterday I got all the zones working. I replaced the one sprinkler head that I ran over and got everything working. And and it's kind of funny because my neighbor, who is like, she's one of my best friends. She has been the person that has been supportive every single day for me since we lost Bobby. She was really close to him too. And but anyway, her sprinklers quit working the other day, and I feel so bad. But mine haven't worked in like 6 weeks or 6 months. So last night when I got everything working, and I told her, I said, I'm in business, and sent her a picture of my sprinklers running with water. And she's over there. She can't get the sprinkler guys out until next week. But I'm going to go out there maybe later and within the next day or two, because I've got to go out and kind of fix and make sure that I have my filter that is way out in the lake. It's sitting right so that I keep getting water flowing through the pipes. And I'm going to check out what she spent a ton of money to do. Not 6 months ago, or no, it's only been a few months that she's had that work done. And they put in this cage and all this stuff, and she's not supposed to lose prime. And so we don't know what's happening. But anyways, so I got all the zones going, and there's one zone left that's out by the chicken coop. Oh, and we have baby chickens. I forgot to put a picture up of the baby chickens. We'll do that next week. And I kind of remembered, but kind of forgot that when I had to run some new electric from the cottage, which I run the framing business from, to the shop out back, which is where I do all the dirty work and woodworking and stuff. And I told the boys, I was like, just be careful, because I have irrigation pipe running through here. And I remember and it's my fault because it was a year ago, and water's bubbling up through the ground where they put a flag, and they had pulled a pipe out. It's like 10 feet of pipe. And at the time, I just really didn't think about it. I don't even know what I was thinking. I just was not obviously thinking. And so last night I was digging, and I got water coming up, and I'm trying to figure out. So it seems like that when they broke the pipe, they cut the pipe, and they cut out there's 10 feet of pipe. So now I got to find out where the other end of the pipe is. I found the end where the water's coming out. Now I got to find the other end of the pipe to dig a whole new trench and put in 10 feet of pipe. And I've just been beside myself. But I talked to the kid that who was in charge of the job. He's a great kid, Brandon, and he's going to be a dad coming up in July. I'm so excited for him and his wife Maria. But anyway, so he called me back and we talked about it a little bit, and he kind of remembered but didn't remember. But it, like I said, it was a year ago, and he's like, "Oh, well, you could call the boss, owner of the company," which I know, but like, no, I should have done this. I should have been on top of my game, back then. But I think kind of the point I'm trying to get to in a squirrely way is, even 7, 8 years out from this, you may not be totally right. Things are just sometimes hard. And whether or not you're even dealing with what we're dealing with, I think, today it's hard for a lot of people. And it just makes it a little bit extra hard when we're still trying to navigate our lives. Sometimes I think I'm doing a really good job at it. And then other times it's like, what the heck are you doing, Tam? So I try, but I'm not really good at it, giving myself a bit of leeway. And then sometimes I give myself like way too much leeway. But we do the best that we can with what we got. And so that's what I get to do this week is Memorial Day weekend. Hopefully during the weekend I can get my plan. I had a totally different plan. I was going to pressure wash and start painting in the house. And now I've got sprinkler stuff to do, but I want to get the sprinkler stuff done because I come up with this crazy idea. I need to keep my chickens out of my gardens, and they dig up Bobby's memorial garden, and I have a little garden like right beside the house. That's one thing really cool that I did, is with I'll have to do that to get a picture of that. The condensation that comes out of the air conditioning unit just like would run into like a bucket I used to let the chickens drink out of, or run into the ground or whatever. But what I did is I cut it and redirected it and connected a soaker hose to it, and put it through this little garden area where I have hydrangeas, the Hawaiian plant. I can't remember what it's called. But anyways, so it gets water from that. So I'm not wasting water. So that's a really cool recycling kind of like thing, which I'm big on. So that was really cool. So that's working. But anyways, the chickens have come up and dig up where my hydrangea is, and I have a hard enough time growing them. So I need to keep them in the back. So what I'm going to do, and this is why it's such a big deal with the irrigation, is to get that water going back there so I can plant in that area back by the shop grass seed that the chickens will eat. So I can let them out a little bit more and let them free range, but they'll free range out there because they can eat that stuff instead of coming up and messing with my plants up front. So anyways, I guess it's been craziness. I got to get through this full moon. It'll be just a little past the full moon by the time this airs. So hopefully it'll all be better. Get past the full moon. This full moon is really affecting me somehow this time. But anyways, I'm going to do a teeny bit early my positive quote because sometimes we do these quotes and a lot of it is for me and I remind, and it's a reminder, and it's not a one-time thing. what a beautiful thing it is to be able to stand tall and say, I fell apart and I survived. I fall apart and I survive nearly every day. Um, this week is just a little bit more, but you can do that too. We can fall apart, but we will survive. We're still here. We're still fighting the fight. We're still here trying to help other people. We're still here trying to support others. Um, it helps us. It makes us feel a little bit better sometimes. Not always in the moment, but once you start doing it, it helps. It does make you feel better. So, in that, also, please remember to put the helplines in your phone. Share this with people. Please always have this available. Because, like I said, you never know when you're going to need it. Just like I didn't know that I was going to meet Derek and have that heartfelt conversation with him about his cousin. So it's always good to have this. You never know when when you're going to need it. And just remember, there is always, always hope. Thank you.